Hey everybody, Zen here, gonna give you a look at something that I feel is pretty overlooked as far as 1.2 goes, and that is the inheritance gear and legacy gear, or whatever the heck you want to call it. Basically, the idea of it is that it's like heirlooms from Warcraft, right? It's loot for your alt, so your alt can have good gear as they level up, right? And there's a few ways to get this gear, and I'll show you. So first off, the vendors are in your capital city, which would be Coruscant for the Republic, Dromenkos for the Empire, and you see the 4 vendors here. If you don't know where they're at on the map, it's in this area. They're new, so they were never here before. You have an Imperial Agent one, a Bounty Hunter one, Sith Warrior, and Sith Inquisitor, and then the respectable classes on the Republic. I'll show you the Republic one as well in this video. So the first thing to note is that there are these tokens. Let me bring that there. It says bound to legacy, right? So basically these things I can send to all of my characters. If I get gear that's a legacy gear, I can send it to my other characters because it's bound to legacy. So this is Inheritance Main Hand Weapon Construction Kit. So I can use this to buy any main hand that this token buys. For instance, I can open up this vendor, and we'll go through all this gear in a second.
Take a look at our ordnance.
And you can see that there's a lot of gear bought with tokens here. Then there's gear bought with money. But this one right here would be the one I can buy with this construction kit, right? And that is a blaster rifle. They also have a sniper rifle, so I can buy it for the 2 advanced classes of the agent. They have different pistols with the bounty hunter, different lightsabers with the Sith for both classes over there. So I think that gives you a general idea. You get these tokens, and where you get these tokens, well, a lot of people got this main hand weapon construction kit from doing chapter 1, just finishing chapter 1. In fact, I'm not sure if that is a constant thing. I'm pretty sure it may have just been with the patch, but it could be a constant thing. I'm not sure because I haven't gotten a character past chapter 1 since 1.2 came out. I also haven't asked anybody who has, so it looks like that could be an option, is finishing chapters to get these kits, which would be really cool. The other thing is they drop randomly in the world, apparently. That's what they say. I have yet to see one. I went farming for a while. I could not get one to drop, but they drop off of at-level mobs, apparently. So if I'm leveling up a Jedi Knight and I'm out in the world and I'm killing level 30s, I could get a token to be able to buy a piece for an Imperial agent, right? So each of these also require different levels, and I'll get to this orange stuff in a moment. But first we're just going to look at the Birthright, Legacy, Gear, whatever you want to call it. This stuff specifically is gear that is bought with the tokens, right? So just like this weapon construction kit. So you buy these, and then you can send them only to that one class. So you can see there it requires an Imperial agent to wear these, right? And the thing with it is you want to use the tokens that you pick up, like this, to get the weapons or armor that you want. So you can't continue to transfer the armor over, and it also doesn't last forever on that character simply because it requires level 30, and then it doesn't have any moddable stats there, as you can see. So this stuff right here, the token stuff, is also very powerful, but it doesn't last forever on your character. I like that. There's a few reasons I like that, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I did go look at the difference between this Birthright blaster rifle and one that is at level, which is level 33. And the one at level is 129 DPS. This is 157. The stats are pretty significantly upgraded, and this is a rating of 94 as opposed to the rating of 84 the other blaster rifle had. So it is a pretty significant upgrade. You're looking at epic quality items here, even though, you know, they're not epics, they're the Birthright gear, and I really like that. So aside from this stuff that you buy with tokens, they have stuff at these levels, so like the 30-ish levels there, and then they have ones for level 14. There's some level 10 stuff in there. And then the whole other system here is that you have this moddable gear. And this moddable gear you can use once you get to a certain legacy level, right? So I could buy I could buy this chest piece right here. Requires legacy level 20. Guess what? I got that, which is awesome. But it requires an Imperial agent. So what it's basically telling me is I could take this and give it to my level 10 alt and just put a ton of mods in it, right? So that is really, really cool. That's really stinking cool. That's cooler than this stuff, in my opinion, because for one, I'm able to make a lot of really good mods and be able to pimp out my alts. But this is more or less the same style as heirlooms in Warcraft. The only difference is heirlooms in Warcraft level with you. This stuff you actually have to mod it with you, and I like that more. I like that you have to continue to upgrade your gear, because that was one thing that the legacy system was kind of worrying me about when they announced this, was that I was expecting it to be just like Warcraft, where you would take all this gear, you just put it on your character at level 1, and you would have the exact same gear all the way till whenever you got rid of it in your max level. And it's just like, I hate that, because you're not upgrading your gear, you're not getting the satisfaction. So at least this gives you satisfaction of getting different mods, maybe giving yourself some different stats that you decided you need over others, which is really great. So we're going to take a look at the orange gear here, the two sets of orange gear. So there's one that requires legacy level 10, and there's one that requires legacy level 20. So let's look at the legacy. Oh, by the way, and it does cost quite a bit of money to buy each piece. You're looking at a couple 100,000 credits for just a few pieces here. So let's take a look at this. Don't mind my ugly helmet when that pops up. I call that the satellite dish. I'll get rid of that in a second as it pops in. There we go. So that's what the legacy level 20 stuff looks like for the Imperial agent. Super cool. I would be really excited to look like that while leveling. I just think that's rad. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about that, so we'll move down and check out the other stuff, which isn't so rad, but costs less and doesn't require such a high legacy level, so, you know, you get what you earn. So there we go. I'm not even going to say how I look, because it's pretty awful. I just don't like the look of that stuff. That's my opinion, though. So you may like the look of this stuff better than the hood, and that is completely fine, because it's your choice on what you want to buy, what you want to look like when you're leveling. So there's the agent gear. Let's take a look at the bounty hunter gear, and we'll just move our line down.
Real quick if you want.
So this is a legacy level 20 stuff. This makes you look like a proper bounty hunter, except pastel colored. We won't get into that, but at least you have kind of the Boba Fett colors, just more flamboyant, I guess a good word for that, because it is kind of pasty colored. It isn't really shiny. I don't get I can't really describe how it looks. You guys see it, you understand. And then the other stuff was really funny. Makes me look like I'm in World War I. And there we go. Great stuff. Obviously, I would not wear that helm if I had a choice. And you can mix and match. You could even put this helm on if you really like that gear. That just looks silly. So let's move on to the warrior stuff.
Back anytime.
I've got the best hardware
legacy level 20.
and the best prices.
This stuff looks pretty rad. I really like the look of that. Right, you got that really cool mask going on. Everything kind of works for it. I just wish it had a cape. Then again, I think the legacy level 10 stuff does, so we'll take a look at that. And here you do have medium armor and heavy armor, as the class suggests. So there you go. That looks super cool. We can go down here. You also have different stuff. So this is another set of medium armor. This is legacy level 10. I think that was legacy level 40. I was just looking at. Let's go double check that. No, legacy level 20. I meant 20. I know I said 40, but I meant 20. And that is medium armor as well. So there's a few different things you can mess around with, which is pretty fantastic. Yep, there's 4 sets here.
Good hunting.
Oop, let me go back to that. Close out of it prematurely. And this is the last one here. This is the heavy armor. So if you're a Juggernaut or a Marauder, you're going to be wearing different gear. That stuff looks pretty cool too. Makes you look very Darth-like. It's a word that comes to mind. And last but not least, for the Empire side, we're going to take a look at the Sith Inquisitor. So this stuff looks very similar to the warrior stuff with the mask at least, but the rest of it is very robe-like, which is cool. I like that. I like the look of that. And last but not least is the very sorcery-like look. A lot of robe going on there. I like that. The helm is ridiculous, but I like that. So now we're going to move on over to show you where the vendors are at in Coruscant, and we'll take a look at the Republic here. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back in Coruscant here, and just to show you where the vendors are at, they are over here near the Senate Commercial District. That's the Senate building right there. So you've got the Jedi vendors right here, and then the other two off over that direction. So let's just go through the loot.
Suppliers.
Look at it.
Best sold here.
This is the Jedi Knight vendor. So let's look at. Is this the heavy armor? Yes, it is. So if you were to play as a Guardian, is that the name of it? Yes, Guardian and Sentinel. I think that's the two advanced classes. So that actually looks pretty cool. That's a little surprising. That looks actually really cool. This is a common theme with the Republic. Is all their gear looks amazing compared to the Empire. That is all. That is just fact. Now let's go down here. Don't believe me? Go look at the tier gear. Oh, that looks rad too. Makes me want to play Republic, but I'm at heart an Empire player. It's all the Force Lightning. So that looks really good. I like the look of that as well. That is also heavy armor. So let's take a look at the medium armors here. So if you were to play a Sentinel. Again, really cool looking armor. That is the Legacy level 20 stuff, as you see there. I would be happy to level a Jedi Knight and look like that all the way to max level. So let's go look at, again, the last bit of medium armor here, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be also pretty rad. I mean, it's cool, but it's a little bit more dorky than I was expecting. So that's a thing. Okay, now let's move on to the Jedi Consular, which I have max level of. So this is, I've seen this stuff before. This stuff, oops, I'm actually equipping the wrong ones, even though they are the right ones. I'm just looking at the icons. There we go. Pops in. Very dress-like, very proper, very consular. And let's go down to the last one here. So I equip them all. It takes a minute to pop up because it's like, oh gee, ooh, that looks good too. I am coming. Wait, did I equip a helm there? Okay, the helm is like a headset thing going on. You can't see it because of my character's hair, but it's like a crown. So I'm actually gonna come back and buy this when I'm done making this video for my console. Let's look in here.
Well,
this is the trooper
got
stuff.
Full stock and permission to sell.
Now, I must admit, the trooper stuff makes you look like a boss right from the get-go. I'm also coming back and getting that for this character. Could you imagine me level 17 looking like that? That's just awesome. Now, another thing I wanted to point out is I have a weapon on right now. So let's just open this up. I have a pretty decent weapon, right? So I wanted to show you directly the upgrade here. So my weapon is what level? Level 16. Right, and this one is level 14, and it's better than what I got, right? So those weapon upgrades are in fact a pretty nice upgrade, so are all these armor pieces as well. So let's look at the Legacy level 10 stuff, which also looks pretty dang good for a trooper. So there you go. I like the look of that quite a bit. Now, last but not least,
back in one piece.
The Smuggler, which is the best class.
You like, give me a wink.
Look at the Legacy level 20 stuff. Makes you look awesome. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with how awesome that actually looks. You even got like shades, you know, with your little Raider mask going on. And the Legacy level 10 stuff, which doesn't look as cool, but still is pretty decent. It looks about as good as the Empire stuff. So just keep in mind, you guys can buy this stuff when you reach the proper Legacy levels and throw in mods that reach your level. So I couldn't throw in level 20 mods and use this on this character
Bring your
that is
creds
level
back anytime.
17. So that's that's an option, and I felt like this was something good to show because it is often overlooked. A lot of people don't know where these vendors are. Now you do. Now you know what the gear looks like, what you may be looking to buy, and if you get specific tokens, you should definitely hit it up and pimp out your alts, because leveling alts in this game is just one of the best things ever. So other than that, on that note, I will see you guys next time.